herb knife to get on this herb mic. You know I'm alert, right? You know that it ain't nothing to serve, right? And I'll be killing tracks to the...
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. Today we're going to be talking about SmackDown from October the 21st, 2022. All right, the only note really to discuss is the supposed note between WWE and GCW. There's supposed to be a new working relationship. We're going to talk about this. So Bodyslam.net put out a story early in the day. It says it looks WWE and GCW may be working hand in hand. The promotion aren't two companies you would expect to work together, with GCW being a largely deathmatch-oriented product and WWE being a PG product. However, it appears that against all odds that may be working together shortly. Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Newsletter noted that WWE and GCW are set to work together. The promotion has something going on with WWE, Meltzer said, since Joey Janela not only was plugging for people to watch Raw, and also told people on the roster to do the same and promote Raw this week. Brett Lauderdale has a long-time relationship with co-CEO Stephanie McMahon, so time will tell what presence GCW may have on WWE TV in the coming weeks. This is hilarious. So later, Brett Lauderdale feeds into the speculation by putting out a statement saying, of course, we are aware of the speculation and the rumors surrounding GCW right now. We are very excited for the future of GCW, which includes a number of exciting partnerships, as well as a game-changing announcement in regards to how people will be able to stream and watch GCW events going forward. We will make our first of many announcements this Saturday during GCW's event in Detroit, which will air live on Fight TV. So, a lot of this stems from a single picture of Brett Lauderdale with Stephanie McMahon. He took a single picture with Stephanie McMahon when he was invited to WrestleMania. And now all of a sudden, WWE and GCW are going to work together. Now, there's been some stuff floating around for a long time. You know, there was, I think a year or so ago, there was some discussion that WWE probably wanted to buy the Bloodsport copyright from GCW and maybe put that up on the network. So that could be it. That could be the thing. That then there was the, all of a sudden, Tony Khan doesn't work. AEW doesn't want AEW wrestlers working GCW anymore. So there's certainly something to it. I'm not even, completely dismissing this now. It's just a lot of stuff floating around at the same time. And of course, Brett Lauderdale's commentary about, where you'll be able to stream GCW events. It's like, is WWE, with all the cursing and the blood and the violence of GCW, would WWE really risk putting it on the network uncensored? Now, the reason why I think they might be able to get away with it when it comes to Bloodsport, because Bloodsport doesn't have a lot of the cursing and a lot of they have blood, but it doesn't have thumbtacks and fire and fluorescent light tubes and a lot of other nonsense. A lot of that stuff isn't there. So I can see maybe Bloodsport, because it's more MMA, it's more worked MMA, grappling, that kind of thing. So I could see that. But the regular GCW product, I don't know. WWE buying GCW's library, entirely possible. I could see that happening. Maybe it's going to be a deal similar to they have with Progress and WXW, where they'll have the shows on Fight or some other kind of network, but then there's going to be a lapse of a week or two before they're uploaded to the network, and WWE's just paying them for access to that content, and WWE just wants to diversify their content a little bit. That could also be the case. WWE just flat out buying GCW. There's going to be a crossover on Monday Night Raw, that kind of thing. I'm not sure about that. Do I believe WWE might be financing some GCW shows, especially in the future or something like that? Possibly. A relationship similar to the one that Vince had with Paul Heyman. I could see that. Maybe using GCW as a place where they can train some talent. Maybe sending some NXT talent to GCW. Similar to what they were talking about when it comes to MLW before MLW decided to sue them. I can see that too. Maybe there's be some kind of relationship where GCW can get WWE talent for the cheap, especially some of their NXT talents who aren't under exclusive contracts or, partnership relationships or whatever. I can see a lot of things really, but I'm telling you, what I don't see is Joey fucking Janela or Jimmy Lloyd popping up on Monday Night Raw. That ain't what I see. I'll see some type of thing that won't really affect WWE fans unless you're really into the GCW product and you're interested in that product. But I don't see it being something that's going to, it might be game changer for GCW. It might be something new and different for WWE, but I don't see it being something that is going to be wholly something that you see on television. There's people who are taking it to the GCW versus WWE at Survivor Series. It's like, are you serious? They're not going to do that. They may actually help promote GCW or something like that. They may have some kind of relationship, some kind of partnership, but I don't see, GCW guys being on Raw. I just don't see it. If that happens, that will be legitimately groundbreaking, And I know a lot of people are going to be like, this is a stupid deathmatch promotion. Soon as Vince is gone, this is the kind of horse shit they pull out. And yes, that's exactly what I was thinking too. Soon as I was thinking that too, like, oh God. Now everybody got jokes about Nick Gage and the pizza slicer chasing Roman Reigns around the NXT parking lot or some nonsense like that. You got, funnily enough, you got Liv Morgan, who's from New Jersey, which is the home base of GCW, doing hardcore spots and all of us out of nowhere now and loving it. And GCW wrestlers are kind of laughing at it and, talking about the influence that GCW has had on WWE already. And then there's also some of these guys are just trolling. Like Lauderdale has been trolling for a while on this WWE GCW thing. He's been blowing it out of proportion. Joey Janela has been asking people, where's our WWE checks or some nonsense like that, and Lauderdale would play into it. So we don't know how much of it is true and how much of it is nonsense, but there's clearly something to it because it's been going around for 2 or 3 years that these negotiations have been floating about. So it's not completely something that you can dismiss right out of hand, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Again, I don't expect to see GCW talent on WWE television. They may be on the network. WWE might even help promote them to a degree. They may even send them talent, but I'm not sure that they're going to have a working relationship to the point where, again, you see Effie kissing Sami Zayn or something like that on TV. I'm not sure about that one. But it's a fun thing. It's an exciting thing, I guess, if you're interested in both products. If you're a GCW fan, you're going to get your WWE mixed in if that were to happen, and you're going to be pretty pissed about that. Because if you're a GCW fan, you're probably not a big fan of WWE either. If you're a WWE fan, you probably are not a big fan of GCW. And if they didn't hold shows so close to my house, I probably wouldn't go to GCW shows. But they hold shows that are literally around the corner from my house. So I'm just kind of like, why not go? They're not expensive shows either, so why not go? So it ought to be an interesting situation, and we'll see how it turns out. If you listen to this video on October the 22nd, then you will probably be finding out later this day, which will be Saturday, October 22nd, because that's the Detroit show. I will be at the show live, so I'll probably be there live when it actually is announced. But we'll see. All right, let's get into SmackDown, considering there was only one news and note in order to get into, and that's the GCW situation Dave Meltzer is stirring. But just saying, it's all looking very interesting. All right, Sheamus and Solo Sikoa had a hell of a match to start the show. They tell the story that Sami Zayn is in charge of Jey Uso, which I'm not sure that was technically what Roman said. I think Roman just kind of wanted Sammy to look after them, but whatever. It did an interesting spot here where Solo Sikoa used a hip attack on Sheamus into the steel steps. That started telling the story for the match. Solo Sikoa targeting the arm of Sheamus. There was a Samoan drop from the second rope by Solo Sikoa, which was pretty cool. Sami Zayn distracted the referee to set off the big brawl, which ended up with Butch and Ridge Holland buried underneath the announce table. And Solo Sikoa hit the Uranagi, or what I forget what they call it, rolling solo or something like that, in order to get the win. So after they win the match, the Sheamus is trying to fight them 4-on-1. And, you know, it's a very gallant effort by Sheamus. But he's outnumbered, beat down, and then they clapped his arm in the chairs. It was vicious. It was violent. It was very well done. The bloodline looks very cool still. It looks very strong. Solo Sikoa has been booked masterfully as the enforcer of the group. Really enjoying Solo Sikoa. Sheamus, even though he lost, he was outnumbered and attacked, and it really doesn't do Sheamus any good to win these matches against Solo Sikoa. Like, sure, he's a former WWE champion. Maybe you want to book him a little stronger, but, you know, he's not really hurt by losing to Solo Sikoa. You know, he's not hurt by losing this. You can give Sheamus the gallant effort and he falls short. It works. It doesn't hurt him at all. So later, the Bloodline are celebrating. Sami Zayn is doing things with his arms and saying that Sheamus can't do that because Sheamus has an injured arm. Jey Uso is talking about Solo leveling up every week. Every week he's leveling up. Sami Zayn called him a gem and that they sent the message not to mess with the Bloodline. Now Jey Uso turns around. He wants to take out Logan Paul. Sami Zayn says that via Roman Reigns that he doesn't want Logan Paul messed with. He doesn't want Logan Paul thinking that he's got the Bloodline shook, that he's in their minds, or that they're thinking about or concerned about him whatsoever. So he doesn't want the Bloodline to interact with Logan Paul at all. That's word from the tribal chief. Jey Uso, of course, doesn't agree. What Sami Zayn said that it wouldn't be very Usi of him to go against Roman Reigns. They're trying to get Usi over as a word. They really are. Then Jay said that tonight they're going to see what really happens. So they set it up right then and there to tell you what was going to occur. Later that night, Logan Paul makes his appearance. They show photos of him training with Shawn Michaels, with Roman saying that he's going to need the help and hope he's training with God. Logan Paul gets on the microphone. Before we get into that, though, let's talk about Logan Paul training with Shawn Michaels. I think that's pretty cool. You know, Logan Paul, training in the Performance Center with Shawn, it really gives you the idea that Logan Paul is taking this thing seriously. He's getting pointers from one of the greatest of all time. So he's improving his ring game. It's like he's just taking it seriously. All the thing we're missing now is one of these 1980s training montages. We're dun, 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 dun. And, him with the punching bag and running on soft sand or something like that. He out there running the road like Little Mac for Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Oddly enough, do you remember what I remember being a kid, man? And I saw Bret Hart training for the Iron Man match. As soon as I saw Bret in that gray jumpsuit with that towel around his neck running on the goddamn streets of, what was that? I guess it was the streets of Calgary that he was running on. That's the only thing I could think of is Bret is out here like Little Mac from Mike Tyson's Punch Out. That's the only thing the image was permanently in my head. I was all of like 12 years old when that match happened. In any event, that would be the only thing that would make this better in terms of Logan Paul training videos. If we had like training videos, that would make it seem so much better. And they played it off well when it comes to his promo, because he said in the promo that he knows WWE diehards are doubting him, but he's been doubted his whole life. And yeah, he's been cocky, but he's confident in his abilities. He doesn't need a crew. He doesn't need two guys. It's basically the same guy doing a job for him. He doesn't need a penguin like Paul Heyman or a guy named Solo who is never alone to do his dirty work for him. And know that nobody expects him to win because what if I do? What if I land that lucky shot and knock Roman Reigns out and turn the tribe into a cleanup crew? And that kind of got people a little interested. Like there were still some people who were kind of like, nah, we ain't rocking with this Logan Paul kid. He's a piece of garbage. And then Jey Uso attacked. It was all going swell and fine and dandy. Logan Paul was out there cutting and strutting and, rapping a taste about what he might do to Roman Reigns. And then the Fire Nation, Jey Uso attacked. And he beat the tar out of Logan Paul at first. Sami Zayn comes out there and says that this isn't what Roman wanted. This is not what Roman wanted him to do, and he needs to stop it. And he can clear things up, but Jay's gotta leave the ring. Jay's gotta calm down and leave the ring. Jay is like, nope, not doing what you tell me to do, and got flattened by Logan Paul, knocked clean out, and embarrassed the family. He embarrassed the family because and then Sami Zayn didn't do anything about it, which was even funnier. So Jey Uso got knocked out in front of everybody, embarrassed. And this was I like this. Not only do you further the story with the Usos and Sami Zayn without Roman actually being there. Roman will probably address this next week. But you also show people from Logan Paul's perspective that maybe he is one lucky punch away from becoming the WWE champion. It's entirely possible. If he knocked out Jay, maybe he can knock out Roman. They got the same genetics. They might have the same weak spot. Who knows? Video games. I don't know. But I like how the dynamic, because Jey Uso has always been the attack dog. That's his character in the bloodline. You disrespect the family, Jey Uso gonna get you. That was the whole thing, right? And that's what it was when he got mentally broken and brought into the bloodline. It was, if you disrespect the family, I'm gonna get you. And now they're telling him to go against that credo. That was his mission. And now he's got to go against it. Now Roman says, nah, don't bother. And he's like, no, this guy's disrespecting the family. We got to do it. It's necessary. It also completely continues the Jey Uso Roman Reigns storyline with that Logan Paul started a couple of weeks ago by, Jey kind of doing his own thing and not letting Roman be the leader, the tribal chief. So I like this. This was great layered storytelling from all involved. I didn't even hate Logan Paul's promo. Logan Paul has come out and said that he's not as comfortable with the promos as he is with the physicality, which is becoming a real issue with wrestlers nowadays. And I guess we get into the point where we have to count him as a wrestler. I know he's still basically a celebrity, but there's a lot of these guys now that are so not comfortable cutting promos. And you got to get used to it, pal, especially if you're going to be doing this for the long term, which I think he wants to do. He seemed pretty comfortable here. He's not really doing much. He's not really playing like a legitimate character. He's just kind of being himself and letting people have the reaction that they want to have. Instead of trying to make him a babyface, they're just kind of letting him be Logan Paul. And then whatever reaction he gets is the reaction he gets. That's fine, I guess. I ain't got no problem with that. But I really would prefer if he was a white meat babyface up against Roman. I just would prefer that there is a babyface for Roman to fight. But I enjoyed this bloodline thing. The whole night was pretty good. Solo Sikoa didn't disappoint them, but Jay did. So once again, Solo is being looked at as a gem, while Jay is being looked at as sort of the embarrassment. So that ought to be fun to see how all of that shakes out in the long term. All right, so Rey Mysterio pops up backstage. He was confronted by Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, who told him that he doesn't stand a chance against Gunther. Ray isn't looking for trouble, but says that he's not going to tolerate the disrespect and said, how about one of you fight me? To which Ludwig Kaiser accepted the match. So Ludwig Kaiser versus Rey Mysterio was the match. It was technically the main event of the evening, as far as the main match is concerned. Giovanni Vinci and Gunther came to the ring, but they were later ejected after some trickery from Rey Mysterio. Stem Cell Ray, just don't miss. Them stem cells had turned Rey Mysterio into a fucking ageless wonder. Like, Ray was looking kind of shoddy, in what was this? I would say 2013, maybe 2012, 2013. He was looking kind of slow, looking kind of old. And then, he left for a little while. He came back. He was slimmer. It was around 2014, 2015 when I can't believe they booed Rey Mysterio. But he was in great shape. And that's when he started doing the stem cells, which is, has changed his entire career. Like, them stem cells is just got him out here like, Dracula. Like, he moves better than his son. Dominic moves like his legs are, made of jelly. But Ray is out here smooth as butter. So Ray wins. There's no attack after the match because Ludwig Kaiser is out there alone. So this was fine. I got no problem with this. Ludwig Kaiser is a guy you can beat. It's not that big of a deal. I wonder if there's going to be some kind of punishment for him later, because maybe that was a Vince thing. The whole chest chopping for losses. Maybe we're going to get away from that. I don't know. Maybe that was a Vince thing and Triple H is not into it. I don't know. We'll see. So Bray Wyatt had a promo. I'll say right out of the gate, I didn't like the music playing over the promo. I'm not a big fan of that. If you're going to have the music play, turn it down. The video audio was too loud on this promo. But he talked about not being able to finish his statement last week because he got interrupted. Let's say he's going to finish it now. Then he says that he has always believed that pain was a confessions are a sign of pain or something like that. And he says that in this situation, confessing might help. So that he confesses that he has some problems, things that are hard for people to see, but people have seen his anger, and anger has taken him to places he didn't want to go. And this time, and he was content being left alone, and he wanted people to leave him alone. But he's also glad people didn't leave him alone because they removed the spears from his ribs. I was like, wow, that's kind of dramatic. So he says he confesses that he's going to do some horrible things, but he will not feel sorry for them. And that he's just a servant now and is going where the circle takes him. So this is interesting. This was very interesting. A lot of people have kind of locked onto the whole I'm just a servant now and thinking that there's some kind of higher power. This takes me back to when he was dealing with Matt Hardy and how much of a disaster that was. Because Bray Wyatt is a character that doesn't really work being subservient to another character. Well, so I'm guessing this is going to be this particular voice and face for Bray Wyatt is going to be subservient to another voice and face of Bray Wyatt. And that's why he didn't get to finish his statement is because the other voice and or face interrupted, and it's going to continue interrupting and getting in the way. So speaking of which, later there was a promo segment. Well, technically it wasn't even a promo segment. It was just sort of a flashing segment where we met Uncle Howdy, who said that never lie to the ones you love. So Uncle Howdy is clearly a puppet. I, of course, saw the screenshot, and I screenshotted it myself. And you can look at it and tell that is not a human face. There was no breath in that face. So Uncle Howdy with the cowboy hat and the barbed wire on the cowboy hat is likely going to be a puppet. Okay. I'm not a big fan of the puppets, but okay. Let's see where it goes. I'm willing to give it a shot, willing to give it an opportunity. Now, when it comes to the QR code, which did pop up also, it was a link to a Bray Wyatt psychiatric evaluation. On the psychiatric evaluation, it had like a patient number that had the same amount of numbers as a phone number, and some people actually called it. I'm not in the habit of calling random phone numbers. Apparently, when you call that number, you get, I think it's Uncle Howdy talking, and you get lyrics from like a David Bowie song. That's from what I understand. But the psych evaluation says that Bray Wyatt, and it is Bray Wyatt, not his real name or anything like that, has trouble, with remorse and empathy and violating the rights of others. So they're really kind of going ham on this psychiatric, psychological situation with Bray Wyatt, which could be interesting. It depends on what direction we go with it. Bray Wyatt is a unique character because we don't really need to see him in the ring. Of course, all paths lead to the ring. That's just kind of how it is. I mean, this is pro wrestling after all. But if you can do something that's interesting enough to make people want to see a particular match, that could work even more. If he could put off his actual in-ring debut until there's somebody worth him fighting, like physically fighting, that could work too. I saw a lot of people comparing the Bray Wyatt return to the CM Punk return. And I think that's two different things. Like the CM Punk love fest that went on for weeks and weeks and weeks, which most people thought was great and wasn't really building up a feud. And then he did call out Darby Allin, but it wasn't any heat to that feud. It was just kind of like, you're a young man, I respect you, I want to have a match with you to elevate you. He beat him, and then Darby Allin went nothing but backwards ever since. I would rather Bray Wyatt didn't do something like that. And plus we know that he's in his own little sandbox now. That must be a nice situation to have, where you don't need to do anything in the ring. But if you keep coming up with creative tidbits for people to jump into, eventually, yes, you're going to have to find your way to the ring. But people are very wrapped up in the character, where the character has been, where the character is going, what is he trying to set up, that kind of stuff, which is very different from CM Punk, who was a different kind of character and required a different approach. So I don't want to compare them in terms of who got the bigger pop or anything like that. And plus, Bray Wyatt was only gone for 2 years. Well, he's barely gone like a year. A year and some change. But people are treating it like he was gone for 8 months, 8 years or something like that. But I really am enjoying the Bray Wyatt return stuff because they're not overdoing it. They are overdoing it as much as they're showing the Bray Wyatt packages and stuff on both brands. But you can chill, do the stuff on SmackDown. It's not a lot. He's still engaging the sort of detective, fan base who wants to call phone numbers and hit QR codes. He's still, playing around with them, which is great. But somebody like me, I don't got the time. I'm sorry. I don't got the time to be playing around with Bray Wyatt and his games. But if there's going to be some kind of higher power, it better not be a goddamn puppet. I can tell you that much. But to be quite honest, I think the original Bray Wyatt was not really. He was a cult leader for sure, but you can always tell that he was not subservient to, but educated by Sister Abigail. So Sister Abigail was sort of a sage at that point. And a sage is very important. When you're on a spiritual journey of some kind, you need to have a priest or a pastor or somebody who knows the road that you're about to walk, and we can go all day. It's really great. Anime is really good for that, as far as creating sages and elders for people to follow. American comic books, for some reason, just does not do that very well. I mean, you have Batman, but that's about it. There's not a lot of, sage characters that kind of guide other characters around. Which is something that's missing. It's a fatherly figure or sometimes a motherly figure. And Bray Wyatt is trying to, I guess, bring in another one of those types of figures in Uncle Howdy. Because your uncle is, technically speaking, in most societies, your uncle, your actual uncle. Like I know I think West Africa, you don't have an uncle on your mother's side. Your uncle is always your father's brother. So, it's one of those things where he's usually an elder. And sometimes he can guide you in life. So maybe that's what we got with this Uncle Howdy thing is, he's giving sage advice, like never lie to the ones you love, which is, fatherly advice. I can see an uncle who giving you that kind of advice. Would a wrestler play that character? I don't know. Unless it's a mask, which I said it was a puppet. It could very well be a mask. But I don't know. I just think it's a puppet, personally. I just think it's a puppet. But I'm also not about to chase myself around in a circle to figure it out either. Next. All right. So Liv Morgan and Sonya Deville fight to a double countout because Liv Morgan wouldn't stop whooping that ass. She kept banging Sonya Deville's head against the ring steps. Throughout the entire match, Liv Morgan was kind of laughing at Sonya Deville's offense. They're trying to do this whole Liv Morgan is cracking up thing. She's kind of losing it. People are calling it Harley Quinn Liv. And she's trying to do the Harley Quinn character. But of course, Alexa Bliss has already done that. So I'm in this situation like, okay, they're going to do this hardcore angle with Liv Morgan where she's going to be really into the violent stuff. Which could be interesting. Depending on where they go with it. I know a lot of people got the Harley Quinn concept because she was carrying around the bedazzled bat and that kind of stuff. It would be an interesting twist to her character. She needed a character change badly. Like she needed one bad. And this angle really has worked in ways where being the champion didn't. So actually this is not bad because when she was the champion, she was kind of but now the reactions for her have actually grown, in terms of people are being actually interested in her, like people are interested in what the hell she's going to do. And all she had to do was jump off some ladders a couple of times. So, all right, we're doing something different with Liv Morgan. Sonya Deville being a part of both SmackDown and NXT and these two things not competing or, bumping heads in either way. Very weird. So I need Toxic Attraction to jump Liv Morgan. I need that to happen. I'm just saying. Why have her with these connections and we're not going to use them? And plus Liv Morgan's going to need more people to put through tables and shit, right? Why not JC Jane or Gigi? Beat up Gigi. I like JC, so you can beat up on Gigi. She's beautiful and all, but as far as her butt and everything, but you can beat her up. Go ahead. We got a Viking Raiders promo where I was about to call the girl Liv Morgan. Sarah Logan said that the guys have preached patience. Okay. I know that WWE filed for a trademark called Lyra Valkyra. I'm thinking that's for Eva Valkyrie from NXT UK and not from Liv Morgan. I mean, it was from Sarah. I don't know why. I keep saying Liv Morgan. Not for Sarah Logan. WWE already owns the name Sarah Logan, so they don't need to change her name. Under Vince era, they might have done that, but under Triple H, I don't think they would do that because they already own the name Sarah Logan. Whatever. The big showdown, the face-to-face of Strowman and Omos. Interesting. So Braun Strowman was out there, called out Omos or whatever. MVP comes out and said that Braun Strowman has always been the biggest and the strongest in everything he's ever done, except now. That Braun Strowman is 6'8". What is he, 400 pounds or some nonsense? But Omos is 7'3". And Braun Strowman said that he's not about too much of the talking. Since Omos thinks he's a big man, he'll see him at Crown Jewel, so which MVP accepted, and Omos came out there. Omos and Braun Strowman stood face to face to show you that Omos is literally taller than Braun Strowman. Taller doesn't mean that much. Just being taller, is, I don't know. When you look at the two and ask me which one do you think is the stronger of the two, I would say Braun Strowman. I mean, look at his back and shoulders, for Christ's sake. Now, Omos is not a small guy, clearly. But if you ask me which one of them I think could bench press more, I would say Braun Strowman easily. Because he just looks like a giant wall of muscle. So they put over Omos' strength by having him throw Braun Strowman over the top rope. And then Braun kind of got up and was kind of chuckling about it. Like, okay, I'm the small guy in this match. So I expect him to do hurricanranas and, oh, no, he's not going to do none of that stuff, right? All right. This match ought to be fun. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm interested in this. It's going to be the shits in some ways, but it also should be fun. It should be fun. I don't know, man. We're waiting for the moment. This match is all about a moment. And that moment is going to be when Braun Strowman eventually powerbombs Omos. Because it's going to be something we've literally never seen before. We've seen Omos lose matches before. We've never seen him get, physically manhandled. And that's what Braun Strowman is going to have to do. He's going to have to, literally powerbomb this fucking guy. That ought to be fun. All right. We're moving on. We're moving on a nice little clip here. I'm not complaining about this clip. All right. Drew McIntyre talked about nearly killing Karrion Kross. Now, it seems like WWE is finally willing to tell us that it was Drew McIntyre who caused the accident. Even though, that's not the information we was given the previous week. But WWE ends up saying that Drew McIntyre caused the accident and that Karrion Kross is in the hospital. Drew McIntyre was called to Stanford and promised that there will be consequences if they continue to fight, but they will give them an opportunity to end their differences at Crown Jewel in a steel cage match. More big meaty men slapping meat. Kross, McIntyre, Lesnar, Lashley, Omos, Strowman. This is big meaty men slapping meat, the show. Right? The show. And I'm just kind of like, I can't wait. I don't remember what date Crown Jewel is. But I'm hoping I'm off that day so I won't have to, hide from Twitter. Because I really do. I really do hate hiding from Twitter because, it's November the 5th. Guess what? I'm off that day. Oh, shit. Also, that's the date of YumaCon. But I'll be damned. That's the day of a huge anime festival here in Detroit. Well, it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th. I want to go all 3 days, but I don't know. What time do it start? Let's look at what time do it start, because I might be able to. It's 12 p.m. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. I got all day then. All right, it's not too bad. But I'll at least be off, so that's nice. I'll get to watch Crown Jewel live. That's nice. I get to watch Big Meaty Men Slapping Meat the show live. That's excellent. That makes me feel good. I'm in a good mood now. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. All right. Damage Control. Oh, boy. Versus Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi, another made-up tag team. Literally just going to throw all the women in a match. Who cares, really? Bayley was quite bronze on this show. I forgot to mention this when it comes to NXT, but a lot of people, I don't know if you guys noticed this, have been very upset by what they call the Mandy Rose School of Tanning, where Mandy comes out just looking like an apple pie. I mean, that girl come out looking bronze. She looks like a glazed donut, And I think Cora Jade actually came out once. She had been bronzed. Can't even call it tanned. Got to call it bronzed. And people was like, she's like one step away from blackface. So all these people now have all these problems with tanning. Anyway, Bayley was very tanned on this show. She was super tanned. I didn't hate it. There's an interesting spot where Shotzi and Raquel, where they did the old Diesel and Shawn spot where Shotzi climbed up on Raquel's shoulders and jumped off, but it's women doing it, so it it looked a lot more dangerous than it probably really was. Io did a top rope diving DDT, which was insane, and I can't believe that wasn't the finish. The finish ended up being Bayley with a distraction. Io takes advantage, ends up pinning Shotzi. Makes perfect sense. Damage control still sucks. If they're going to be a part of War Games, we still need to build a team to fight them. We haven't really effectively done that yet. But I guess we're working on it, right? We're still working on it. All right, Ronda Rousey. Oh boy. So Ronda Rousey says she owes the WWE Universe nothing after she was asked whether she's going to do open challenges because she did them the first time she was a champion. She says that she's not doing open challenges for the WWE Universe because they don't appreciate her, and to keep chasing their approval is pathetic. And I'm not going to lie to you, she got a good point. She got a good point. The girl makes a good point. She said that they don't want the best to win. They want their favorites to win. But they're stuck with the best. And then when she was asked about the open challenges, she said, maybe next week if I feel like it. Something to that degree. You know what? The content was very good here. I like that Ronda Rousey has a little bit of that jealousy. I'm the best, but the people don't like it. They want their favorites to win, not the best. And I like that. I like that line. I like that mission for the character to be the best and have to go up against people's favorites and be the villain, not for any reason like you're cheating or you need to cheat, but because you're better than that person and the crowd doesn't like that. You know, that puts her in the Kurt Angle sort of camp where, you know, Kurt Angle cheated, of course, but he didn't need to cheat. He was an Olympic gold medalist. He's believable in the I can out wrestle you game. And that was where you create something, you know, different because, of course, in classic wrestling, the heel is always a worse fighter, a worse wrestler than the babyface. But you have to also keep it realistic. Realistically, somebody like Ronda Rousey would not be the worst fighter in the ring 9 times out of 10. Unless she's in the ring with Holly Holm, she's 9 times out of 10 going to beat whoever is in the ring with her. So as a heel, she has to be the baddest. She's got to be the best. Okay, that works. You know, she can't be the cowering chicken shit heel. That doesn't work for her. You know, it's not going to work, especially if you're using her real name. If she's playing like a legit character or something like that, then maybe you get away with it. But they're trading on her UFC prowess. So that's kind of the character she has to go with. Now, the only issue that we have here is who do we put on the other side of the ring? Because all the baby faces on SmackDown have been beat to paste, either by damage control or they barely, if at all, exist. So which tells me they're probably going to have to bring in somebody. So ho hum to that. But I'm interested. I'm interested in the open challenges. I'm interested in anything Ronda Rousey got to do except that whole we're going to get rid of the women's title thing. I'm never going to get over that because that was, quite frankly, some dumb shit she said. She shouldn't have said that. I'm going to say she was probably sleep deprived from taking care of her baby. And we're going to go with that. That's going to be her excuse for being a soft brain idiot when it comes to the women's championship. You know, we're gonna give her a pass. We're gonna look the other way on that one. Because she's not out there cutting cringe promos. You know, she's not the best on the microphone. So I say the content is good, but the performance of the content is not very good. I mean, she's not a good actress. You know, like Ronda Rousey just ain't a good actress. She's a good wrestler though. Like, I like Ronda Rousey's matches, but her personality and character and stuff, it ain't been good. But maybe now it'll get better because they seem to be leaning towards her turning heel. So maybe it'll get better. Well, she is officially a heel, I'm guessing. Methinks. So maybe they're not leaning. Maybe it's already been done. So in any event, she's better off as a heel, and we're all better off with Ronda Rousey as a heel. So we're also very much better off with Legado Del Fantasma being on this roster. So Legado Del Fantasma, Santos Escobar says that the family business grows through mergers and acquisitions. And in their latest acquisition, their newest acquisition is probably one of their best, and it's Zelina Vega. So Zelina Vega talks about her success. She's been successful at everything. And Legado del Fantasma bringing her in with a smart decision. And that Legado del Fantasma has no peers. They are the best. So Santos Escobar says that Legado del Fantasma is rooted in tradition and heritage, and their empire begins with the destruction of Hit Row, which was fantastic. You know, the shot with all of them drinking from these little wine glasses looks very professional. You know, they look like a hit squad. It looked really good. I loved it. As much as I kind of like, hey, where's Elektra Lopez? I'm with everybody else. Where's Elektra? I want her back. You can't hate Zelina. She's awesome. She's tremendous. She's very fucking good. Everybody speaks perfect English, so it all works. Except, I don't know if Cruz del Toro, I haven't called him Raul Mendoza. I never really made the Cruz del Toro transition. He's always been Raul Mendoza to me. I don't know about his English, but I'm pretty sure he does speak English. Anyway, Hit Row saw that promo and then immediately started making jokes. Top Dollar started making jokes about how are they head and shoulders above everybody else when none of their heads meet his shoulders. I was like, boo. I say boo. Boo, son, I said boo. That's when we don't like your son. Don't you understand it? So he was, I don't like Top Dollar. I really don't. I really don't like Top Dollar now that he tweeted out cancel Kanye. Look, whatever you think about Kanye West, I'm very suspicious of all of a sudden Kanye West is deeply concerned over some guy's dick. He was going to create his own city. All of these insane things that people knew about Kanye West apparently for years that they kept to themselves. Now all of a sudden, because he said something about the tiny hats, all of a sudden this stuff is coming out at the same time and in the media, and everybody's just gobbling it up without asking any questions. Whatever you feel about Kanye West, you got to ask yourself that question. Why is all of this stuff coming out all of a sudden? Kanye was wanting to create his own ecosystem. You know, really. You knew about this before. It didn't say anything. You waited till he dissed the tiny hats to all of a sudden start saying, oh yeah, Kanye West, he's insane. He wanted to create his own universe. Oh, well. Okie dokie. But I just don't like it because, again, regardless of what you think about Kanye West, if you don't want to hear what the guy has to say, don't listen to him. To want to put a muzzle on him, you're basically inviting to put a muzzle on yourself. Because what you're telling everybody by saying cancel Kanye, Fat Dollar, is that you expect other people to slap a muzzle on you when you start saying things that they don't like. And what if they have a problem with you saying cancel Kanye West? What if they decide they want to cancel you? That's the thing about, these issues is you got to have a principle. You can't just be, well, I'm offended, so fuck all principles, fuck, scruples or anything like that. We're going to do it just this time because what he said was just so bad. And it's like, well, you say bad shit too. At what point do we start putting the muzzle on you? At what point do we put the ball gag in your mouth? At what point do we delete your bank account? At what point do we delete, you from your jobs? At what point do we get there? Because again, Kanye West might not agree with everything he says, but he made a good point. If JP Morgan Chase can cancel his bank account just because they don't like him, who's to say they can't do it to somebody like me or you? He's got $150 million or something like that in there. You and your paltry $15,000 or whatever in your bank account, won't make much of a difference. You know, I think about that kind of stuff. You know, so I'm not really a big fan of Top Dollar these days. I already wasn't. You know, I was calling him Foghorn Leghorn a long time ago. You know, he looks like Mr. Potato with chicken legs. I don't understand why anybody. I don't know. We were better off not that fucking guy being on the roster. To me, Ashani Theodonis and Swerve were kind of hit row. B-Fab is kind of cool, but you know, whatever. She's just kind of there as far as I'm concerned. Top Dollar, it might have been his idea, but he probably wasn't. He's like Keisha Cole, maybe not Keisha Cole. What was that other broad? It was another broad. Her claim to fame was that she wrote songs for Beyonce, and then she started trying to sing her own songs, and nobody wanted to hear them. It's like, yeah, okay, you wrote songs for Beyonce. People want to hear Beyonce. People don't want to hear you. And that's just kind of how it is with Top Dollar. It's like, oh, Hit Row is your idea? Oh, yeah, I accept that Hit Row is your idea, but guess what? You're the worst person in it. You know? I don't care that Hit Row is your idea. You're the worst one in it. You suck bad. And they're not over as baby faces either. So they're going to end up being in a match against Legado Del Fantasma next week, and somebody's going to end up joining them. And it's a mystery. It's a Scooby-Doo mystery who it's going to be. Something is telling me it's probably going to be like Cedric Alexander or R-Truth or, oh God, I hope it's not somebody. Well, it might make sense for it to be R-Truth because R-Truth is at least a rapper, you know, and maybe Hit Row will actually get over if R-Truth is a part of it, because he can actually bring a comedic element. He has more personality than fucking Top Dollar. Top Dollar wants very badly to be cool, but he's not cool. He's kind of like I don't want to get into a long roasting session of Top Dollar. I really don't. You know, him being shaped like Mr. Potato Head. It just is what it is, man. You know? I can't look at him and not see that he's shaped like Dr. Robotnik from fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. I can't unsee it. You know? It's like hip hop Dr. Robotnik. That's what that motherfucker is. That's what the skinny legs and the rotund body. I just can't unsee it. You know? I just can't unsee it, man. God damn that dude, man. I can't believe Top Dollar, man. What the fuck? What a guy. What a clown. What a clown. Hopefully R-Truth, man, in fact, fuck that. I hope R-Truth is in it because he can overshadow Top Dollar, and then maybe might be able to enjoy Hit Row. Who knows? Maybe R-Truth and B-Fab will have fun chemistry together on screen. I know R-Truth can if he can, you know, have segments with like Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar and all those guys and make it work. If he can make people interested in Tamina and Carmella and Dana Brooke and all that kind of shit, then he can definitely make Hit Row interesting. You know, he can't do shit about the way Top Dollar is shaped, but he might be able to, you know, inject some personality, some charisma into that goddamn group and get them over. You know, so I hope it is R-Truth, but it probably won't. It'll probably be some work rate guy. You know, it'd probably be fucking Leon Ruff or some shit like that. Oh boy. Triple H doesn't make good decisions, and I'm not even excited at the idea of a mystery partner for these guys. I'm depressed by it because I'm pretty sure it's going to be some suck ass shit that I'm not really going to enjoy. All right. In any event, SmackDown was, I would say it was okay. I really liked the Bloodline stuff. That was really fun. The Bloodline and the Brawling Brutes, that stuff was fun. Ronda Rousey's promo was okay. I just hate Ronda Rousey's performances. It's just not good. I like the new direction for Liv Morgan. Damage Control was on this show, which is automatically a minus. I don't even care what they do. They just appeared. There wasn't enough, you know, beautiful Bailey. You know, too much Dakota Kai, just too much. Bray Wyatt promo, of course, is very good. Rey Mysterio was tremendous. You know, it's great. SmackDown, the WWE shows, you can say, have been pretty good because they rotate talent. and it's not the same guys on TV every week doing the same shit, which is what a rut Vince would get into sometimes, where you would see the same match 3 weeks in a row, and where the same guys will be out there 2-3 weeks in a row. They'll be cutting promos with nothing to say. I like the Miz. I miss Miz TV being fun, but I also don't miss those Miz TV segments that was just there to kill time, because the Miz can be trusted with a microphone. If Vince wanted to take a nap or whatever, he didn't want to think about what to do for 10 minutes, so he just put the Miz out there. I didn't like those promos. I didn't like that. I like when the Miz has something to say, when he's involved with something. And, it makes sense that certain guys wouldn't be on the show if they don't have anything to add to the show, So everything sort of had a purpose here tonight. There was nothing cold that I felt came out of nowhere and was going nowhere. So that was good. All right. What do you guys think? Let me know. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, y'all.